Dude, I hit 500 push ups yesterday, dude. What nonsense, man. Have you looked at yourself in the mirror? Come on. I don't believe you. But I did. You just have to believe me. Then show me. But I do it for me right now. No, man. I'm tired. I'm sore. My chesticles hurt like real bad. Like it's just I can't do it. Not right now. But I did it yesterday. Do you have a video of you doing it? No. Was someone there? No. So why should I believe you? Because you're my friend. Aren't friends supposed to believe in each other and believe each other? I mean, you trust me, don't you? Dude, I don't know anymore. I mean, I need I need to see evidence for this. Seriously. Hey, welcome back to Rationable. This is part one of a three-video series on what skepticism is and why it's important. Subscribe now so you don't miss part two. Now, every single day, we are assaulted with ideas, claims, information, and so much more in the memes, reels, posts, and videos we consume. All this information gets tangled up in our brains, and it becomes harder and harder to separate what is real and what is misinformation or even disinformation. I could tell you that I could do 500 push ups without stopping, and you would be totally right in calling it absolute horse poop. But how did you reach that conclusion? It's because you are a natural born skeptic. We all are, to some extent. So, what does that mean? What is skepticism? Is it just cynicism? Is it contrarianism? Why do people like me, Vimo, Science is Dope, why do we keep talking about it? Well, that's what we're here to find out. First, why is skepticism important? Skepticism is simply this: I won't believe what you're saying until you give me sufficient verifiable evidence to support it. It's our constant endeavor to be less gullible. So, why should we be less gullible? Because there are people out there who are spreading lies knowingly or unknowingly. These lies cost us our time, money, energy, or effort, depending on what the claim is. Is someone sharing conspiracy theories on how the pharmaceutical companies want to keep us sick? Is someone trying to sell you a supplement or a book or a course or a diet? Or are they just trying to get you to become a part of their cult? What about gurus and sadhus who want you to become their followers? So, what if we do fall for all of this? We become poorer with less time to give to the people we love, and we become more paranoid and suspicious about what's really going on. Vaccines are suddenly dangerous. Are we really changing the climate? Are alternative medicines more reliable than real medicines? Are aliens abducting us? Are time travelers real? What about UFOs? Bigfoot? Ghosts? We don't have all the time in the world to believe everything. We need to make decisions that prevent us from getting fooled or conned. So we can use skepticism regardless of whether the person making the claim is someone we trust or is some rando on social media. So, how can we use skepticism? In Carl Sagan's book, The Demon Haunted World, he gives us a fantastic baloney detection kit. This is essential to learn how to evaluate claims and get to the truth of any topic. Let's go through the different tools in the kit. Now, whenever possible, multiple independent sources of information must agree to the facts that are being claimed. Don't just go for the Times of India. Find the origin of the story, scientific studies, or opposing articles from competing publications. For instance, are vaccines safe? Read several articles regarding this from multiple competing sources and also read some of the most reliable studies done on the subject, preferably systematic analyses. Encourage substantive debate on the evidence by knowledgeable proponents of all points of view. In other words, of all these independent sources, understand the points where they differ and add that into your reasoning. Arguments from authority. Now, authorities have made mistakes in the past. They will do so again in the future. So just because Richard Dawkins says so doesn't mean it's true. In science, there are no authorities. At most, there are experts. Create more than one hypothesis. If there's something to be explained, think of all the different ways it could be explained. Then think of tests by which you might systematically disprove each of the alternatives. Whatever survives, that is, the hypothesis that resists disproof, has a much better chance of being the right answer than if you can simply run with the first idea you liked. Also, that is called falsification, which brings us to the next point. Always ask whether the hypothesis can be, at least in principle, be falsified. That is there a way to prove it wrong? Propositions that are untestable and unfalsifiable are not worth much. Consider the grand idea that our universe and everything in it is just a simulation. But if we can never acquire information from outside our simulated universe, isn't the idea incapable of being disproven? You must be able to check assertions out. Other skeptics must be given the chance to follow your reasoning, to duplicate your experiments, and to see if they get the same results. Next, try not to get overly attached to a hypothesis just because it's yours. It's merely a milestone in your quest for understanding. Ask yourself why you like this idea. Compare it fairly with the alternatives. See if you can find reasons for rejecting it. If you don't, others will. Next, quantify. If whatever it is you're explaining has some measure, some numerical quantity attached to it, you'll be much better able to discriminate among competing hypotheses. What is vague and qualitative is open to many explanations. Of course, there are truths to be sought in the many qualitative issues we confront, but finding them is more challenging. If there's a chain of arguments, every link in the chain must work, including the premise, not just most of them. Next up is a favorite, Occam's razor. This convenient rule of thumb urges us, when faced with two hypotheses that explain the data equally well, to choose the simpler. Occam's razor is to select the hypothesis that makes the fewest number of new assumptions. You hear a noise in your house at night after everyone is asleep. Is it a ghost, or is it just the old fridge making weird noises? The ghost hypothesis has a lot more assumptions to be made, like the existence of an afterlife, the existence of the soul, and the existence of souls wandering around in your house knocking over stuff, versus the hypotheses that need no new assumptions, like an old fridge that is known to make weird noises. But what about my own experiences and my own instincts? Unfortunately, our personal experiences, as real as they may be to us, is not always good enough. We humans are super fallible, biased, and easily deceived with something as simple as a magic trick or an optical illusion. I mean, think about it. Plus, anecdotal evidence just doesn't carry much weight. Evidence should be widely accepted by people who specialize in the field of the claim and be preferably scientific. If you want to know more about anecdotal evidence, I'll put a link in the bio for the video. Therefore, evidence, at least our claims regarding nature, should come from the scientific community in the form of peer-reviewed papers, or better yet, a demonstration. Basically, I'd have to get on the floor and show you how many push-ups I can actually do in order to convince you. And just to be sure, get an unbiased party to count independently. I'm no scientist, but I do try to find as much evidence as is adequate for me to accept or reject a claim. So I look for articles published on reputed scientific websites and magazines. It's the best I can do. For a list of some reliable sources of information, go to berationable.com/references. I'll put the link in the description. So, I can't do 500 push-ups. No surprises there. But I may be able to someday. But the possibility of something happening doesn't make it probable, and I don't suggest you hold your breath. What I do recommend is that you think critically of people's claims, think rationally, logically, and plausibly. That is all that skeptics do. You've already been doing it for many things for most of your life. Just acknowledge it and try applying it to what you believe and what people try to make you believe. And you'll end up being a far less gullible person than you are today. There's a lot we've covered in this video, and some things I've only touched on. So if you have any questions, or if you want me to go deeper on any of these concepts, please let me know in the comments and I'll make a video about it. But first, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and stay tuned for part 2, where I'll be discussing logical fallacies. Subscribe now and ring the bell so you don't miss it. And until next time, stay rationable.